This is Roland in Studio B, where live broadcasts are made possible by Sierra Nevada Brewing Company. Happy Thursday and a great big welcome back to the Fireside Collective.
It's good to be here.
Yeah, man.
Thanks for having us.
Brand new record.
Yeah.
Sounds great.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, Elements, the name of the new one. I guess it's officially released. What is this weekend? Is the
These are the release parties,
Yeah.
and then next Friday is the official street date, 3/20/2020.
That's very clever. You had to wait until that date came around.
Exactly.
Is that
Exactly.
so? The big relevant show for our listeners will be on Saturday night at the Great Eagle up in Asheville.
Absolutely.
Cool stuff. The record sounds great. Can't wait to hear what it sounds like live. So it's the Fireside Collective playing live today. This new album is called Elements. First song is
We're going to do one of Tommy's songs. Tommy's our dobro player down there. He wrote a song about getting back to someone you love.
That's right. This is called Back to Caroline.
all right. Back to Caroline. The name of that song, Fireside Collective. The new record is called Elements. Man, it sounds great. Brand new record. What do we need to know about the record in 500 words or less?
We recorded at Echo Mountain Studios
Right on.
and released it with Mountain Home Music Company record label. And so it's been a great collaborative amongst Asheville, Western North Carolina folks. 14 original tracks, an intro, a reprise, and a bunch of funk and bluegrass and newgrass and progressive folk. And we just had a great time in the studio. I feel like everybody played at the top of their ability, and we're really proud of this record.
I think it's about the 9th time I've said it now, but it just sounds gorgeous. It really does
Awesome.
sound great. Work with Travis Book on this. That was fun.
Yes, absolutely. Travis from the String Dusters came in, and he encouraged us to do a bunch of pre-production. So we prepared a bunch for the album, and each songwriter brought the song idea to the table, but each member really elaborated and added to the whole sound of every single song, and like everybody crushed it up here. Everybody in the band and the engineers and everybody was great. It was just a real positive
lot of fun.
experience.
How long were you in the studio on this?
I forget.
It was
It's a little over a week.
Yeah.
that was like the initial tracking was what, 6 days?
Yeah.
6 days back to back.
Right.
And we got all the basic tracks down. We came back for vocals maybe 3 times, and a couple solos were overdubbed. But we got a bunch of live solos, some live jamming, which we haven't done on an album before. So it was great. It was fun.
You've done it a while now. You've been in different contexts in the studio, sort of figuring out how you want it to happen now, I guess.
Yeah. I remember the first time we came in here, and I was so nervous. I forgot lyrics and all that good stuff.
I think the first time I saw you all play was at Mountain Song Festival a few years ago, and you're the between act.
Yeah,
You
Oh,
came
yeah.
out and just blew it up. Everyone's like, "Man, who is that band?" They're just like in and out in a hurry. And now here you are. I mean, you big label, big distribution, things looking up, feeling good about.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. We've got a bunch of awesome festivals coming up. Merle Fest, Del Fest, Swanee down in Florida next weekend.
Albino Skunk Fest,
Albino Skunk
Nice.
Festival. So, yeah, lots of good stuff.
Rocky Grass in Colorado.
Rocky Grass,
Gray Fox, Delphi.
Gray Fox.
All of them.
Yeah, so Asheville's home, but it won't be much, I guess.
Right.
Not during the summer.
In the coming weeks. So, Elements, the name of the record. You want to talk about how you came up with the name, what the theme is, or what the idea is?
Yeah.
Well, we were going to call it Circles, and Jeremy Garrett from the infamous String Dusters released an album called Circles on Mountain Home Music Company label. So, or maybe he was on Organic, but
still.
no, we decided Elements was really cool because this was the first band where all 5 of us were really part of the creative process. Alex on banjo, this is his first album with us, and he brought so much to the album, and everybody up here did. So like we feel like our strength is all 5 of us individually bringing something to the collective, if you may.
Yeah, it feels that way. It really does.
Yeah.
Different songwriting and different lead vocals and
Yeah.
so nice stuff. It'd be fun to talk about that some more. Let's get another song. This record is called Elements. It's Fireside Collective out of Asheville. Show on Saturday night at the Great Eagle in Asheville. Also, if you're ever in Raleigh this weekend, Friday night at the Poorhouse, right there in Raleigh.
That is correct. Yeah, with Barefoot Manor Bluegrass Band opening up the show.
Sweet. Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, I know those guys. Okay, so Fireside Collective playing live today, and the next tune is going to be...
This one's called Bring It On Home, and it's a little funk grass for you.
Fireside Collective playing live in Studio B today. Bring it on home. The new record is called Elements. I always like that funk sound that y'all get in there. Just
Yeah.
trad funk grass or something like
Trad funk grass.
So
I like
fun.
that. Yeah.
that. I don't know. There's so many things to talk about the arrangements. Like it's really intricate, and the harmonies and all these different parts coming and going. How does that come together for you guys?
Wow. It's
We-
a mixture.
Yeah, we kind of work on it as a team. Somebody brings a song. Sometimes they have some ideas prearranged, and we go from there. Other times it's kind of just a blank song, and we add in some things. And it was really fun working with Travis because he kind of mediated and threw out some ideas of his own, or
Right.
was the decider when we were torn between different directions to go in. So it's a fun process.
But you got so many people, creative people, and writing and all this stuff. Is it ever like too many ideas? Is that ever?
So far, no, but there's always more time. No, we all seem to bring in like different elements. Like Alex is really into jazz, and so he has a lot of really cool ideas when it comes to solos and stuff like that. And everybody really has a diverse musical taste, but we all love progressive bluegrass. And I really had a great time writing a lot of the harmonies for this album. I got really into like Crosby, Stills and Nash and the Eagles, and like kind of figured out what they were doing. We learned the Grateful Dead song Uncle John's Band
Right.
about a year ago, and there's like a harmony in the middle that Bob Weir actually sings that's kind of inspired by Crosby, Stills and Nash. They kind of help them in the studio, but it like moves all around and creates all these cool chords. So we got to do some of that stuff with this album and kind of get outside of the bluegrass traditional setup. And we all love bluegrass so much, so it's a great foundation. It always keeps it cohesive because we always go back to that. But it's a great launching point for everybody in this band.
It's like our common denominator.
Yeah. The harmonies that's another thing that I was going to just point out, and I love those harmonies. And they are kind of unconventional. I mean, that's fun, right? Bluegrass, you have harmonies, you have this certain structure, and then
Yeah.
you have these other structures.
Oh, there's endless possibilities.
Yeah.
It was really cool on this album too because all five of us sang on some of the songs. We've got 2 songs where all 5 of us are singing, and we've got all different combinations.
Do you get in each other's way? I mean,
Nah,
no.
I don't know, maybe.
I try to stay out of Carson's way.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's probably wise. So, I guess you want to introduce yourselves or each other, or who's in
Sure.
the band today?
I am Tommy, and I play the resophonic guitar, aka the dobro.
My name's Carson, and I play the upright bass.
I'm Jesse Iaquinto. I play mandolin.
I'm Joe Cicero, and I play the guitar.
Hot day.
I'm Alex Geneva, and I play the banjo, 5-string banjo.
And everybody singing and writing and soloing and mixing it all up.
Yeah.
It's a great big soup. Do you ever take it not acoustic? I mean, the sort of the backbone is this acoustic. It's a bluegrass configuration, even though it goes way beyond that. Have you ever been tempted to go electric or to shed any of that? Or
Well, that's funny. We actually have, I think, our first electric instrument on Elements. I played the lap steel, so we dipped our toes into that territory. But I've thought about it, but we haven't really considered it seriously, I don't think. But
We've had a couple drummers sit in
Yeah.
at different times just as like a one-off kind of thing on a show, on a song or two. But I kind of like the feel of the 5 acoustic instruments. But we do mess with like pedals and sound effects and things
Yes.
like that in that kind of electric digital realm.
lots of effects in the room today, for sure.
yeah.
There's something about visually acoustic instruments that I think ropes people in or pulls people in, and also there's just something about the sound, right? Maybe pedals or not.
For
so.
sure.
Yeah, I think so. Carson started out the band on electric bass,
Okay.
and over time we realized that he had a bass in the family, and so he got that bass, and it just fits the aesthetic so
It makes
well.
sense with the
You know,
band,
it
yeah.
sounds good, and it's really fun to come up with rhythms on these 5 instruments because they are all very rhythmic. You know,
Sure.
the acoustic
We can drum on
sound,
'em.
and so like we do all sorts of combinations, and different people take different rhythmic roles, and
Well, and within a bluegrass band, you've got the drum, right? In each different instrument, you got the snare and the hi-hat and the bass.
Yeah,
and so,
Definitely.
yeah. So Fireside Collective, the new record is called Elements. Let's see, Saturday night at the Great Eagle up in Asheville. What time y'all get going up there?
Doors at 8, shows at 9.
Okay. Sweet. Yeah, how about another tune?
let's do it. We're going to do one written by our guitar player, Joe Cicero, over here. It's our latest single. It was released back in December, and it's called Don't Stop Loving Me.
Don't ever stop.
Fireside Collective playing live in Studio B, Don't Stop Loving Me. And again, all songs off this brand new record. Hasn't even been released yet. It's called Elements. But you can get your copy Saturday night up at the Great Eagle in Asheville. So
You can also pre-order them right now from our online store or on Apple Music, Spotify, things like that as well. But if you want a physical copy, we can send you one from our online store at firesidecollectiveband.com.
I like the packaging on the record. Whose idea was just the artwork and the layout and the whole thing?
That was a buddy of ours from college, Drew DePorter. He's a designer. He was in Asheville for a while. He just moved back towards the Raleigh area. But Carson and I used to play in a band together with him back in like 2007 and 8. And he's just a good friend of ours. But since he moved to Asheville, he became a part of just the awesome art scene there. He designed stuff for, he did Rising Appalachia and a couple other bands' album art, but he just had it dialed in. We gave him the album, had him listen to it. There was actually a piece of art that I saw in downtown Asheville at one point that was like, it was kind of like a tribute to Asheville and had a bunch of circles, and it had like the downtown scape and like art, like all these like nature elements and stuff like that. And so he took the album, listened to it a bunch, tried to get like the feel of it, and then just gave us some amazing art. And we actually just made some shirts with the CD design on it. And he just, I don't know, he tuned into our collective consciousness.
Well, there are lots of circles. There are circles within circles.
That's right.
Sort of, to find a pattern there.
So shout out to Jeremy Garrett.
All right. You guys were at the IBMA. I know you met play with all the famous people and everything, but you got to hang out with John Fishman.
Oh yeah, almost forgot about that.
We did.
Briefly.
Yeah.
Yeah, he there was somebody drumming. We were at like a show at the Lincoln Theater.
He was playing with the Traveling
I couldn't
McCurries.
even see who was on drums for a while. I was like, dang, that guy sounds really good. And someone was like, it's John Fishman. Oh. And then he came outside and he was hanging around, and did we get our picture with him?
Yeah, we got a picture
It was
with
a little
him.
blurry,
And
but
asked him about a fish song. And,
Right.
Yeah, he asked
He
him
was
about
very nice.
the most obscure fish song.
Yeah.
He liked it too. He talked about it. Yeah.
You didn't ask him to sit in on drums with you, though, for your set?
No, not yet. We wanted to
It
play
wasn't
easy,
the right
you know?
time. Yeah.
Play it cool,
Now that you're rich and famous and all over the world, anything cool that's happened recently or that's coming up that just you never thought would happen?
Yeah,
with the band?
taxes right around the corner.
Right. First time ever, huh?
We're playing with Jerry Douglas later
That's
in the
right.
year.
Yeah, I saw that.
We're like friends with people that we used to look up to so much, like the String Dusters. We played a show with them back in February and hung out with them, and like, I've been seeing them since 2009,
Right.
looking up at them, being like, man, I want to open for these guys so bad. And then we did at the Georgia Theater in Athens.
Right.
That was our first show with them, and it was really cool. Just a full venue.
Yeah.
Just that whole experience was awesome.
We look forward to more of those types of, collaborations and stuff.
And
Yeah.
also just the festival scene has been really, really open and really helped us out a lot. We're playing a lot of festivals that some of us grew up going to and dreamed of playing someday. Like I went to Rocky Grass a bunch when I was younger. Joe grew up going to Del Fest, and we're playing both of those this year. So it's really exciting.
Yeah. Everyone I know who sees you all live too, just like, oh man, you got to see them to get it. So the festival is the place, right, where you find
Yeah.
those
That's where it
new
gets
people.
really unleashed.
Right. the audience dynamic, it's hard to capture that in the studio.
You tend to follow the audience at the festival. The stage show changes a lot. The way you approach the songs.
Yeah. For instance, at Gray Fox recently, I think this will be our third year at Gray Fox.
Yes.
And so the last couple of years, like they usually give us like a daytime slot on like a big stage, just like right next to the main stage, but we do it around a condenser because it's just daytime, like everybody's sitting down.
Right.
And they still are very rowdy, but
Yes.
we give them that like more traditional kind of bluegrass show. And then later on, we always play like the dance tent, and that's where it's just like then we're all plugged in, got some lights on us.
We can move around a little bit.
Oh yeah.
You never know what's going to happen.
Oh yeah.
You never know.
Nope.
Well, I love it that you have these very structured, well-written songs. But man, I know y'all can stretch them and stretch them and stretch them and
Yeah.
jam them. So another thing, I know for a long time you're doing covers, cool covers, surprising like 80s songs or pop songs and things like that. How much of that is still part of your show, and how much do you need to establish kind of identity as writing original music?
Man.
I think we still like to do that just as like, it's fun for us to play those songs and kind of show the audience kind of where we come from. But we don't necessarily lean on it as heavily as we might have in the beginning.
Right.
We used to have like Call Me Al by Paul Simon, and we would always play that when we felt like we were losing the audience.
Okay.
And we'd grab them back,
Get a Paul Simon.
Exactly.
That's right.
But now
Eagles.
it's more like it's like a fun surprise. A lot of times we write like a transition, a segue, so that we're going somewhere and they're like, where's it going? And then suddenly it comes out on the other end and we're playing One of These Nights by the Eagles or, but we like to have a lot of fun with it because that's the whole foundation for this is that it's fun and it's, you can forget about your daily worries and troubles and come out and just let go and have a good time. So
I would, one thing is that it's nice to see, to me, like an emergence is really strong songwriters on this record. I mean, it's a really well-written cycle of songs. But then number two, I bet you learned a lot about writing songs by going and digging so deep into all those really classic kind of well-known tunes. Right?
absolutely.
Oh yeah, and then having Travis there, who's an amazing songwriter.
Yeah.
And
just a music guy.
yeah, just a music guy, and having his input on some of the arrangements and even like lyrics for a few of the songs. And then it was an amazing process. I came out of it. I'm sure all you guys did too, but wanting to I was inspired to continue to write. I mean, I've been writing since we were in that studio. And to know that there's so many good writers in the band is pretty awesome. I get to play with these guys.
Yeah. Well, I've been listening to you guys' shows for a long time. You just get better and better. So it's really fun to see the band just.
Thanks, man.
Wow.
Well, that means a lot.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
So the record is called Elements. It is Fireside Collective all the way from Asheville, North Carolina. You can see them Saturday night at the Great Eagle in Asheville festivals all summer long. And get another tune, right?
Yeah, we'd like to do one called She Was an Angel, and this is a fun little tune. It's pretty bluegrassy for a while, and then suddenly it just veers off course, and we'll show you when we get there.
Yes.
This one was the first single off the album, too. There's a couple singles out now on Spotify if you're interested in checking those out as well. You can hear at least a couple songs from the new album right now.
And thanks to you guys and all the DJs who've been spinning the singles too. It means a lot.
All right, that's Fireside Collective playing live today here at WNCW. She Was an Angel. And the record's called Elements. Saturday night, the Great Eagle in Asheville.
Oh, yeah.
Man. Sounded good. Thanks everyone.
for having us.
Thanks for bringing the music.
Thanks
Absolutely.
So much for having us.
Yeah, all right. And good luck this summer, all those festivals and onward. Fireside Collective on WNCW. Studio B sessions are made possible by Sierra Nevada Brewing Company.